Well, when you're working with the likes of David Bowie and assorted elves and creatures, in that order, Jennifer Connelly, I guess it's got to be almost like a dream. Your character in the film is dreaming. Maybe this was like a dream for you as well, huh?
It was absolutely incredible.
To pinch yourself on the set sometime?
Yeah, I did. Stop saying, oh, this is great, I love it, I love it. People are probably getting so sick of hearing me, praise everyone and everything.
Well, everybody's very high on your work in the film. Now, why do you suppose that is? What, in your opinion, has made you such a hit on that set?
I don't know.
I don't trust what they say.
I don't know, me either. Get a second opinion. I don't know. That's nice to hear, though.
Yeah. Okay, now, you must have watched many times Sesame Street on television. And here you are, grown up, 15?
15.
Now working with the man himself. Now, that must also be an odd feeling.
Yes, and also Kermit the Frog, we must not forget.
Was Kermit there, too?
Was Kermit there? Well, Jim. Jim is his voice. His voice is Kermit's
Were
voice.
any of the Muppets there?
No,
I guess not?
no, not in the film.
When you hear the voice, though?
When you hear the voice, though, in the beginning it was actually kind of hard. I would say, this is very strange, I know this voice,
Yeah.
But,
had you made up your mind to ask him anything in particular, or did you have any idea what you would first say when you met him?
No, I didn't really think about it.
Well, he told me he was nervous about meeting you, too.
About meeting me?
No.
Oh, goodness.
Take us onto the set. You're falling down shafts, you're hanging by your fingers from ropes. What moment can you select as maybe the most genuinely hair-raising for you? Not for the viewer, but for you behind the scenes.
I think one that was really frightening to me was in the slashing machine scene, where there's this huge, we're in this corridor, I'm with Hoggle, and there's a gate at the end, and behind us there's this huge machine with blades spinning in all different directions and points and spikes and whatever, and there are no doorways on either end, and on either side there's no way to go up, there's no way to get out. We're just running, but there's no place to go, and it was really frightening. I wasn't really frightened for myself because I knew everything was under control, but I was frightened for Shari, who is the girl who plays Hoggle, because when she's in Hoggle, she can't really see very much. She can see a little bit out of the mouth, but not that much, only when it's open. And she can't hear either. She has an earpiece in her ear because the mechanisms of the facial expressions make so much noise, she can't really hear anything. And so she's not really aware of what's going on around her, and I felt kind of responsible for her, so the two of us are running away from this machine, and it's getting closer and closer and closer. And she would fall and stumble in it, and I would pick her up, and it was just frightening to me, feeling what if something happens? And
now that's essentially a human being we're talking about. That is to say, there is an actor inside.
Right.
But for the completely fashioned actors, the puppets themselves, did you find yourself reacting to them as if they were human also?
Not quite as if they were human, but as if they were real characters, not as if they were pieces of plastic or whatever.
Were you ever tempted to, after the shooting stopped, put one in your hip pocket and take it home with you?
Yeah, I wish I would have, actually.
We don't know what that's like. Do they keep a guard on those things? Is there tight security?
Yeah, they put them back in the workshop and lock them up at night, so no one takes them. But,
now, since you are the little girl with the dreams and the fantasies, were you ever permitted to sort of, make suggestions about the course of the film and about your character itself?
I didn't really get involved with the course of the whole film. There's certainly more experienced people than myself involved with the way that was looking. George Lucas and Jim Henson certainly know what they're talking about a lot more than me, I think.
But I'll bet they were smart enough to ask you sometimes.
Especially about the things that I was involved with, about Sarah as a character. Jim, would just let me do whatever I thought was right, and if it didn't seem like it was working, he would give me suggestions. But I put a lot into it also.
And of course, we know how much you wanted to portray Sarah as a hateful character at
Yes.
the beginning. I know this story, but I'd love to hear you tell it.
What story?
Well,
is it?
you and little Toby were great friends, at least at first.
Oh yeah, I felt so awful. It was so terrible. We got along really well. I love little babies. They're so sweet. And
Sometimes.
usually, maybe that's because I don't have a little brother or sister. But so we spent some time together, so I would know what he was like, and so we got along really well. And then the first day of shooting, I come in and I start screaming at him and yelling at him and being mean to him, and he just got completely baffled. He couldn't understand. The same person that was just hugging him and feeding him his applesauce was yelling at him. And he couldn't figure out what was happening.
Poor
and
guy.
yeah, I felt kind of badly, but
Listen, Jennifer, is it possible for you, after this film especially, to be a normal high school kid anymore? Know what I mean? Is this like a turning point for you? There's no going back?
no.
Can you go back to high school as one of the guys?
One of the guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. You don't believe
Are
me?
you sure?
I am sure.
Uh-huh.
I
What
am,
is it inside you that makes you so convinced?
because school is very important to me, and I like it, and I enjoy it very much. And there's so much there. I have so much in school. I have all these, besides the things that I'm interested in, the subjects that I'm interested in, I have my friends and my, teenage life,
Mhm.
teenage normal life, which I want to keep up. And I think by keeping work and school separate, I have both.
Okay. But Jennifer, what was it like working with David Bowie? No, we're really out of town. It's in Dallas with Jennifer Connelly of Labyrinth. For KCTV5, I'm John Tibbetts.